When I go to the fruit market, I buy just a bunch of rotten things because the stuff is too expensive.
Marco buys a nice
yeah.
Look, you're
over.
He buys a seedless grapes. You buy the seeded grapes.
Yeah. The worms are still coming out of the apples. I buy those apples over here.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Serie A audio experience with IFTV. We've got a lot of new stuff happening right now at this moment. For the first time, we are recording our podcast remotely. So nobody's going to have to get up anymore. Everybody's always complaining that the screen goes black or that Mike gets up and he hits a camera or this and that and all this stuff. So we've got it. We've got some new setup. We've got new cameras. We've got a new audio system. So everything should be nice and crisp. And what makes this really fun is in the future, once we get a hang of this, we could actually go live for the podcast.
Oh, boy.
That's true.
Which is going to be a lot of fun.
But, guys, this is our first time doing this, so please don't go crazy on us. I'm switching it from a remote.
If anything doesn't look good, it's his fault.
Okay. Thank you, Anto.
But guys, let us know about the feedback, how you like this better. For the people that are watching on visual audio, you're not going to really tell a difference. But yeah, definitely let us know. And we only have 3 people today. 3 of the best people, I think, right?
Wow. Come on, guys. Give us a foul. Give us a foul. Let's go.
What are we missing? 2 losers. Peter with Inter is an Inter fan, and Gaetano is the one that picked up PSG to win the Champions League. Forget it.
He picked up PSG?
He picked up PSG to win. Didn't he say, "Oh, PSG looks on a roll and this and that"? They beat Atalanta and then they beat this other team 5-0, whatever. And then what? Then they choked.
I know. It's like we were gonna say. We've got this new setup. We've just got us. We wanted to record a podcast. Number one, to test out this new setup, but also the Champions League has been a hot topic. We did a lot of nice live streaming with Mike LaBelle and with you. We didn't have you for the Champions League one, so people really wanted to hear what we're going to talk about. We'll talk a little bit about the transfer market. We saw today Pirlo had his first training sessions with the team. There's some news on the striker that he wants, a couple of different positions, players, and then we have a lot of fan questions. So there's also one other thing that I want to bring up too, but I'll bring it up a little bit later into the episode. Also, we have a phone number, a new phone number that I want everyone to text us right now. It's 917-905-2169.
Can you
917
at the bottom of the screen?
Yeah, it's going to be on the screen. Don't worry.
It's going to be it's not I already have it memorized. 917-905-2169.
Okay.
So I just have to remember 905, and then 21. I think about Pirlo, and then 69 is an easy number to remember.
When someone asks for Marco's number, he's gonna give that one by accident.
Yeah,
instead of
not by accident. I usually, whenever somebody asks me for my number, I just give them Mike's number if I don't like them. Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh wow, wrong number." But so yeah, text us over there. We're gonna start doing a lot with that platform. Probably Antonio, we're gonna have you texting some people, going back and forth, some FaceTimes, all this kind of stuff. Nice. I think it'd be fun.
We'll reconnect you with some Milan fans around the world, right?
So it's a way for us to engage. We had a WhatsApp number, but it didn't really work out. Now we have a real platform that's going to be used for. So even for like breaking news, so like Conte might be leaving tomorrow, you're going to be the first ones to know. We're going to text everybody. You're going to get that immediate notification, and then you could go and let your friends know. Be like, I got the first information that Conte was sacked because IFTV. We're going to be the first ones to let you know. So that's what's going to happen today.
And when Body goes to Serie A, we're going to throw confetti and send it to everyone.
Okay, Mike.
So we're never gonna have to do it.
I didn't say it. You said that.
Listen, I think I gotta go. All right, let's go. Let's go to the important news.
What do you want to start off with? You want to start off with Champions League?
Yeah.
You want to start off with some Champions League? What'd you think about? Well, we also got the Europa League. We didn't talk about
That's
too.
True.
What happened with Europa League?
Disappointing, man.
Around.
Listen.
Which one first? Europa League?
Let's go to Europa League.
Yeah, I know you want to talk about Europa League.
Europa League, it was almost, everybody thought that Inter had it on the bag already, or I was not 100% sold. The way I saw Sevilla playing, it's just, I said, this team here is relentless. It was down 1-0 against the previous on the semi-final. They came back, they scored two goals. Same thing with Inter. The coaching. I mean, a lot of people, they don't give a lot of credit to the coaching staff. And this Lopetegui,
he's not that good, man.
Yeah, listen.
I'm happy for him, but he's not that good.
But it's better than Conte. He's better than Conte.
It was nice to. You know why? Actually, I am happy for him.
He's better than
because
Conte.
he went through like a lot of tough stuff over there. I'm not saying he's a good coach, but he did go through. He went through like 3 sackings. he lost the Spain job and he lost the Real Madrid job. To me, completely
That was his
wrong.
fault,
No, it's
though.
not.
He was talking behind their back. He was trying to get
What's
the
wrong with
Spain
that?
job.
Everyone does that. They all do that. Every coach is looking for the next opportunity. A coach's job is always on the line. I don't think he did anything wrong. Players all the time before World Cups announce where they're going to go. Every single time. So why is it different for a coach? Either way,
Right.
I don't care. I don't
Right.
care enough to talk about that. But sorry, continue.
Well, listen, we saw the game. Inter could have won the game, but it didn't. They didn't bet it at the chances that they had. And hey, in soccer, you win when you put the ball behind the net, behind the goalkeeper back.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you lose. So,
But that, like Anto was saying, they had chances. Inter went up first. They started off perfectly. They won a penalty. They scored it, 5 minutes in?
Yeah.
But then after that, okay, there's a few stats for this. First of all, Inter this season in the Serie A in the Serie A only conceded one-headed goal all season, and against Sevilla they conceded 2. All their set pieces that they were conceding, it looks like Sevilla was going to score. Their man marking was pretty bad. Conte's substitutions weren't good enough, and they weren't quick enough. Gagliardini, he shouldn't be a starter. I don't know why he was there. Eriksson should have got called way earlier before they even conceded.
Should have been starting.
And it should have been starting. But overall,
Sanchez too. Even Sanchez
Yeah.
could have been starting.
but overall,
Sanchez was a little bit hurt, so he gets a.
Yeah, Sanchez was a little bit hurt. But overall, Lautaro, invisible. Lukaku, I feel like for most games, he's doing all the work himself, and I feel like he doesn't get the support that he needs. But then again, there were stupid mistakes at the end of the day from Inter that cost them this. If they minimize those mistakes, they could have easily won this game. I think that was the biggest factor.
I mean, the bottom line is, Mike, I agree 100% with you, but Lautaro, to me, is the key of the conversation of this Inter failure of this year.
Lukaku's been carrying this
Let me tell you,
team.
that's it. Let me tell you the reasons why. This guy here, on the game that they count, it disappears.
Yeah, it's looking like it.
You know, it might have 2-3 games, 2-3 very good games, 3 games, or score again, score. But on the big game, it totally
He doesn't show
disappears.
up.
It's not a different maker. Icardi, on the other hand, I mean, what's about why you comparing him with Icardi?
On the bench over there, he's not making a difference over
Icardi
there.
again. A lot of people are going to criticize what I have to say. Icardi is a deadly bastard. You give him 2 balls, he's going to put one in.
What a nickname.
Oh, but hey, listen, Icardi is a vicious snake. If you just get too close, he's going to just get to you.
The 2 nicknames, Deadly Bastard and Vicious
And
Snake.
he's a snake. So
In a
like
great
that.
way.
you have to just realize that you don't have somebody that is deadly and angry to, on the key time of the game. Icardi will never miss that, and Icardi will never, switch into the next gear. Icardi yesterday could have made a big difference for a PSG
Instead of Chupo.
for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about the Sevilla game.
Yeah.
I think the first half lived up to all the hype of the
Yeah.
final. Very exciting. We had all the goals, almost so many goals in the beginning of the match. Started off amazing, back and forth. Inter's backline, like you said, which is supposed to be the most dominant part of the team, really letting them down. And Skriniar remaining on the bench for 90 minutes. We know there's this thing that they say he doesn't fit in a back 3, this and that, whatever it is. But again, this match, in my opinion, comes down to Conte's fault. And obviously, I've always been, I think that Conte's a great coach. Not an amazing coach. A very good coach. Not the best coach, but a very good coach. But he has always lacked, always, since the days of Juventus, he always lacked reading the game poorly. Constantly, he would always make the wrong substitutions at the wrong time. And it comes down to he's very stubborn. He's very stubborn in the players that he chooses, in the formation that he plays, in the style of the game. He will not adapt to the game. He has his 11 guys or 12 guys, and he will only stick by them. To me, Gagliardini should never see the field for Inter Milan.
Thank you.
You cannot keep a player with the quality of Eriksson on the bench.
Seriously.
I do not care if he does not run, which is a BS thing.
I
The guy
don't
played
think
for
so.
Tottenham in the Champions League. Don't tell me that he does not run. I will not believe that. Maybe he doesn't fit your system, but you need to adapt
He
to great
doesn't
players.
buy into the contest system
And
too.
I think on top of that, the not reading the game. We were saying since the start of the second half,
You
Inter was
have to
dead.
put it in,
They were
yeah.
completely dead,
Very
and he
badly.
did not read enough to put the substitutions in. The only thing he did, he was not proactive in his approach. He was reactive. He waited until Sevilla scored the
conceded.
goal,
Yeah.
and then he put in
Yeah.
Eriksson and he made his substitutions.
opposite what you're
But that
supposed
is
to
not
do.
how you have to do it in a final.
But you know
And-
why he did that? What do you think he did? Because
Why'd he
he
do
said,
it?
"Oh my God, if I don't do it now, God only knows what the people are going to say." Because if the game stays like that, If the game stayed 2-2, closer to the end, closer to the 90th minute, he will never put Eriksen inside. He will probably wait for the overtime for something else to happen. The guy, like you said, it's a reactive type of game. It's not a proactive. He should have taken the game to Sevilla. He should have just attacked them constantly. And you are attacking a team like that with your best player. You have to put your best team on the field, and don't wait for something to happen, and then you say, I said, "Oh my God, I need to catch up now."
The only thing is they were saying that that Inter side had continued to win, but I would have argued that they didn't play a team to the caliber of Sevilla, who has the quality and also the experience. That's the word I was looking for, and I think that that's the key. Conte has always been criticized for what he does in Europe. In the league, I think he's one of the best coaches in the world in a league. The guy wins everywhere that he goes the first season. He didn't win with Inter, but he was very close. But in Europe, he's always had something happens in Europe with him. I don't know if he's scared, if he brings a different approach, or he just lacks experience. Because you can bring it back. There's many coaches who took a long time to win in Europe. He has this growing phase. And I thought this was Conte's opportunity to show to the world, hey, you told me I failed in Champions League. You told me I failed in Europa League. You told me I failed in Champions League again. Now is my time. And he came out with too scared of an approach. And this game came down to Conte. Yes, the players were at fault, but Conte was the guy that was choosing the players.
Mike, you bring somebody 11 million, 12 million euros a year inside your team. You're the manager. You coughing up the cash.
Yeah.
And what do you expect?
I would find, obviously
You're
Eriksen
Zhang right now, right? Zhang, what's his name?
Zhang. Steven Zhang.
Okay,
obviously
Zhang.
Eriksen.
You look a little bit like that. So anyway,
He's a billionaire.
I wish you would have the money of Zhang. We would all be good right now.
Paying this guy here 12 million euro. What do you expect?
You expect him to play your better players and not have Gagliardini starting when you have someone like Eriksen of that caliber. But then again, we talked about Eriksen is most likely not a Conte player. He probably did not want him, which is why he's not playing him.
So you are saying to me that all of this big saga that they made during the transfer period to have this guy here coming from Tottenham, it was all a fake?
Well, I'm saying I don't think Conte wanted him. I think it was more of the management wanting him, and they had a chance to get a good player, even though he wasn't for cheaper, even though he wasn't Conte's kind of player, and that's why he's barely getting minutes.
Listen, when everything goes wrong, then the blame goes to, it was not Conte's kind of player. If they would have won, I said, that was Conte that he pushed for him. Let me tell you something.
Well, he's barely playing, so you can't really say that
either. Very disappointing from Inter. Congratulations to Sevilla. I underrated them for sure. They're the most successful team in the Europa League. Yeah, and they played with a lot more character, I think, at the end of the day. Lukaku, I know that he ended up scoring the own goal, which was the one that went through.
He needed 2 goals.
And he missed the one-on-one, so I know that some Inter fans, but Lukaku's the only player, one of the only untouchables at Inter that I say his season was so incredible that you can't say anything. I would look at the guys around him.
Barella too.
Ronaldo, yes, Barella too. El Fenomeno Ronaldo's record, he equaled his record first-time goal scorer for Inter, I believe 34 goals.
35, I think.
I think he didn't get the 35th. It's either 34 or 35. We'll look it up. Okay. But I'm pretty sure it was 34 that he ended with. That he equaled El Fenomeno Ronaldo's first season, most for first season player at Inter. So all credit to Lukaku. He's got nothing to be ashamed of. I think that some of his teammates could take a hard look in the mirror and say this. Having said that, it seems like this week, Conte will most likely get the boot from Inter. He will leave Inter. Sorry, not get the boot because we don't know exactly how it's going to go down. Again, after the match, he came out criticizing the Inter management. He came out saying that he might leave. He didn't criticize the Inter management, but he said, I might not stay. Whether the Inter project will go on, whether it's with me or whether it's out me. He goes, I got family things. I have decisions that I need to make. I might not be here. Which, again, for the second time in a row, he's saying this, which is not good, which is basically saying, I'm out no matter what.
In front of all the mics, with all the mics, live.
Yes, this is what he said. And again, Inter, the management did not want him to be saying this. They had told him previously, let's keep this all internally. Again, he went out and said this, which is very poor of Inter, especially after you lose a final like this. I know that's one thing that Peter was saying. He's like, we just lost a final. Why are you coming out and making this all about you?
You make it worse. In other words, this guy here is rubbing salt on the wounds right now. Instead of just healing little by little, calming everybody's down. Yeah, the team did okay. Don't worry. Take the blame a little bit. He's going back to the management. I said, this was said. We have the meet. We have the talk. We're gonna find out what the future of my future on this team is and all this stuff. this is not about you. This is about the team. You know how many hundreds of thousands of people you have watching the TV and watching you from Italy and from abroad. You know, Inter fan is a big group.
base, yeah.
Not as big as AC Milan, but
Hey, we did a poll on our Instagram,
Right.
and we said who's got the biggest fan base, and Milan won it with flying
Definitely.
colors. By the way,
Definitely.
just so
Are you
you know.
surprised, Anto, or no?
oh, always.
So just to say the news, every newspaper has basically agreed that Conte, whether he takes away his salary and just leaves internally, Inter will not fire him because they're not going to pay him 11 million
Right.
euros to sit on the couch when they want to keep him. They will either find a severance package where they agree on a price to leave, or they say Conte is even willing to just step aside and be like, whatever, forget the money, I can't do this anymore.
You should be doing that.
Which is what's probably going to end up happening. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But either way, it looks like all the news is leading to Conte leaving Inter.
Without taking any money?
Which is a
be nice.
disappointment considering the season that he had, you know, making the team competitive, they're bringing in players just for him. Hakimi is just for him. And all these guys who have been brought in to fit his system. And now it looks like exact replica of what happened at Juventus. Conte leaves, Allegri as the replacement. And I would love to see, what do you guys think about this? Because when Conte left Juventus, the Juventus fans were booing Allegri. They said, noi non vogliamo Max Allegri, whatever it was. They stood in front of the bus and didn't let the team leave because they hated Allegri.
God.
But Allegri is a very good man manager where Conte took from A to B, Juventus from A to B, but Allegri raised the level of Juventus and took it from B to C because he had a lot more experience in handling a team. So I wonder if that's going to happen at Inter, or if this project is not developed enough where they haven't had a winning team. Allegri was good at handling a winning team, not building a team. Conte's a builder, Allegri's a handler.
Okay.
So this team is
And-
not a winning team yet
Yeah.
for Inter.
And-
Yeah, but the player that they have, Mike, go ahead.
I was just
Mike.
gonna say, and Allegri knows how to handle the press much better. I feel like almost
No,
all
way better,
coaches
way
know
better.
how to handle it much
No,
better. than
Allegri's very good with the press.
He's-
He
he's
stays.
very-
He knows how to
exactly.
keep his calm.
He
He's
doesn't-
a
he doesn't
very
say a
calm.
peep to anything.
Conte goes crazy. He's like
Yeah.
fidgeting and.
But what I think with this, even though everything's pointing Conte out, I feel like Conte is still gonna. I think he's gonna be Inter's coach for next season. But
Okay.
if he does manage to go, I think Allegri is the best replacement that you can get for anyone available right now.
Listen.
Wouldn't you agree?
To be honest with you, if he stays in Inter, it's a big gift for all of us because he's going to screw it all up again.
I don't think so.
You
I
know,
don't
you
think
do it
so.
the first time, you do it the second time.
I think if
sure
Conte
enough, you're
stays,
going to do it the third
I think if
time.
Conte stays one more season, they're gonna win the
There
Scudetto
is
next
no
season.
Yeah.
player that you can buy for this guy. He is going to find something wrong with the players.
I think
He needs one more
Conte.
season.
I think that this time Conte is really screwing up. I think that
No.
he's showing. I don't know if you're a team. Real Madrid was interested in him last year.
And
If
he
you're
didn't go,
if you're a serious team, do you look at Conte?
I will never
The last
sign
three
him.
teams that had
I will
him:
never
Juventus, Chelsea, and Inter are three clubs run very differently. So you can't say, oh, it's the same problem. Juventus, very conservative team. He left them 1 month before the season started in very bad terms. Chelsea, he's in a lawsuit with them because he left them in bad terms. And now Inter, 1 season after, again, you're leaving on bad terms.
Not a good
The man
track
is
record.
is burning bridges
Yeah, it's
everywhere
not
he's
good.
gone. If you're a top team who he demands a top salary, do you take this risk on this coach? I think that he's really screwing up right now. You have the opportunity next season to really challenge Juventus and Pirlo's Juventus with big signings coming in. You have to stay at the club. You have to stay. You cannot ditch on this project that you just started.
Hey, you're an Inter fan. Let me ask you a question.
I'm
If
not
you're
an Inter fan.
No, if you are an Inter fan, okay?
Okay.
Mike can become an Inter fan. Mike, flip right now, Mike.
Okay,
Inter fan.
let's go.
Okay. So, if you are an Inter fan,
Uh-huh.
you're watching all of this saga going on. Would you stay? Would you just go to the stadium and watch Conte still? And then what would you do
Well,
with
it's your
something
team.
like that?
It's still your team.
No.
Yeah, you still gotta support them.
They have, listen to me,
Wow.
Inter exists
They're
because
doing
of
well though. Inter's
Mike,
doing well regardless.
Mike.
Like you're an Inter fan right now.
Inter exists because of the fan base, and I don't think
I agree.
Conte's got the fans back right now. If I were an Inter fan,
Peter is annoyed with him.
Yeah,
You
he's
know?
annoyed, but I would not say
I think
not support the
Peter's
club.
looking to move on. Peter, I don't want to put
Move
words in
him
his
out.
mouth, but once we were talking,
wouldn't
he
want
said
that guy to
that
be
this guy
coaching.
he's gone overboard. In a sense, he did have a point in certain aspects. He did, but he's gone so overboard that the story becomes about him rather than everything else.
Thank you.
He becomes the center of attention.
But Marco, you've been given the chance. Okay, you say, you know what? I misspoke the first time that he misspoke. Then Inter starting to crank wins and wins and wins and wins. They almost got close to Juventus, quote unquote, on the Campionato. So they made them believe. So sure enough, they were celebrating on the semifinal like that was their biggest accomplishment. And you never do that when they beat who they beat? Manchester on the semifinal.
Inter?
Yeah,
Shakhtar
Donetsk. Okay. So after the Shakhtar Donetsk game, they were celebrating like they won a World Cup, Conte and everybody else. So I said to myself, well, something must be going on behind the scenes over here. That means maybe the management and Conte, they reconciled and they made up, like husband and wife. But
No.
I said to myself, these things, I think this is nothing but PR. And I said it publicly on the podcast. I don't know if you remember that. I said, this guy here is going to go, or they're going to kick him out. Winning or losing, they're going to kick him out. So sure enough, he came out again, exterminating.
I
did.
I don't know.
He came out exterminating again the same BS, not directly pointing to the management, but technically telling them yes,
But Anto, now
I wouldn't sign
Well,
it.
guys, we're gonna have to move on. We're gonna move on after
for 1
this.
second,
Just say
okay.
last thing.
Without it being biased, don't you think Conte deserves a second season for what he's...
Absolutely not.
No. Why?
You knew
What did he
exactly
do?
where the answer was gonna go.
What did he do?
Don't
He
go
screwed
into
up
it.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
He screwed up the whole thing. You've been giving the players. You were given. You made all the clubs spend all the money. You got the money. You didn't do your job. You didn't do the job. This is
Let it
winning
go.
or losing.
Let it go.
Fair enough.
I have a question for you. Is Ever Banega your best friend? Did you guys just become best friends?
I love that.
Did you see what he said?
What did he say?
He told he got into an argument with Conte because Conte was complaining about a call, and Banega said, "Let's see if your hair is real or if it's a wig."
I love that.
And then Conte said, "I'll see you after the game." He said, "I'll wait for you."
I would
after
have
the
told
game."
him the same thing. I would have told him twice as much.
The thing is, Banega, he played for Inter, didn't he?
But they didn't play for.
Yeah, they didn't play for each other, so
No.
he probably knew of Conte.
I don't understand how he would know that he has a wig. Who that? Not everybody knows that.
Everybody
When he
knows.
was at Inter,
He doesn't have.
wasn't-
Number
wasn't
one, Conte doesn't have a
Juve?
wig. He just had a
How
hair
do you know
transplant.
that?
It's just a hair transplant.
Marco, wasn't he at Juve when he was at Inter? I believe
I
so,
don't know.
right?
I
know.
Doesn't
but
matter.
it's a joke
No, I don't
now.
even think he was. No,
Regardless
he
if
was at
it's a wig,
Chelsea.
They know it's not.
I know,
his,
it's a
so
joke.
that's the
But
thing.
also, people are going a little bit too crazy on this. This is
You
what
know
happens
what?
in a
The
game,
guy-
Wasn't
man.
went crazy,
It's
though.
not
The guy is
good.
in love with himself. If you're a good coach, you forget about your hair. Just do your job.
What does that have to do
Nobody
with his
cares.
coaching? What is
Ancelotti has
It's not a good coach.
great set of hair.
I don't understand how. Even LaBelle said the same thing. It tells. I don't understand how that makes it. I don't
Yeah,
understand how it correlates at all.
Yeah,
but we're gonna move on.
He loves himself too much. He's looking at his hair on the mirror. Hey, pay attention to the team. Your team is losing. You're not doing your job.
Okay.
You are not doing your job.
And
you are fired if you're not doing your job.
I want to talk about the Champions League final. We had hyped it up, saying that this was going to be an exciting final. You know, we see Bayern Munich.
You guys hyped it up.
We said, Bayern Munich, they're an attacking team. They are beautiful, high line. PSG, Neymar, Di Maria, Icardi, Mbappe, all this stuff. It's going to be a high score, this and that. Everything leading up to it. 8 goals against Barcelona. That was one of the most boring finals. That was the most boring final I've ever seen in my life. I've seen friendly matches that were more exciting than this final.
RB Leipzig versus Lyon would have been better than this. I'm convinced.
What was the prediction before the game?
Mine prediction was
2-0 Bayern.
to Bayern.
I said what?
I said, you didn't even
What'd
give
you
yours.
say?
I did. I think
No,
2-1 or 1-0.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Guys,
Yeah, okay.
The podcast 2-0. I said
I don't think-
2-1 or 1-0.
Absolutely
I like
not.
how he- I like how he
Absolutely
puts
not.
his
Look
head
him up. Look him
Marco.
up.
Absolutely.
Marco, what you
I
saying?
give-
Find it. Find the proof.
I picked you and your father picked up PSG.
Yeah, we
I
both
did
had
not.
PSG.
I picked Bayern.
I
So
picked Bayern even before the competition started.
either way, the game was lackluster. I think, especially from PSG, Neymar and Mbappe really disappointed in them. Two guys that are supposed to be the leaders, especially Neymar, who wants to be coming up after Messi and Ronaldo. Did not prove it in a final. Did not lead his team. Yes, it's easy. I'm not going to say it's easy when you play against Atalanta or you play against Lyon, but you need to do it, or RB Leipzig, whoever they played. I don't even remember. You need to do it in the final. When your team is not doing good, you look for Neymar. Neymar was non-existent. Mbappe was non-existent. Then the opportunity that Mbappe gets, he squanders it. This is not good enough for players at the highest of levels. And PSG, experience matters. They haven't been to the final in forever. They did not have the character to be there. And to be honest with you, I was surprised that they even had gotten there. I was always like, I kept saying, listen, I think they got an easier route. But I thought all the stars were going to align, and I thought in the final, their big guys were going to step up. They did not, and Bayern Munich proved how they have this winner's mentality. They have experience. And most important, Bayern is a team. PSG is not a team. This guy Tuchel, he's not a good coach. In my opinion, he's not a good coach.
Tuchel,
He has individual quality players that are very good that got him to the final. Bayern Munich is a team. It's a system. It's run as a machine. They're not relying on one player having a good game.
On 8 cylinders.
PSG is relying on Neymar and Mbappe to have a good game. Bayern have this system. Look at Coman. He's not even a starter. Comes in. Is able to play a good game. Gnabry. All these guys are able to. So I'm happy. I'm very happy that Bayern Munich won. I wanted Bayern to win. I think that they were the deserved team over the entire squad. And if you look at just starting 11, they spent 100 million on their starting 11, Bayern Munich. We had the stats. I believe PSG's were 500 to 600 million.
Last year, they spent $100 million?
No. On the starting 11, the players in their starting 11 were 100 million. And yes, they have players on their bench that were worth more money. But I'm just saying the starting 11s together, it was like 100 million versus 5 or 600 million.
Mamma mia.
Which is pretty incredible. Bayern do business the right way. They get young players. Alphonso Davies. Great. I really appreciate everything that goes in with Bayern Munich.
Oh, my God. Coman, but Coman, he destroyed the defense. When he was coming down from the left, this guy looked lost.
Yeah.
The defender, they couldn't handle this guy here, and they were doubling up on him. I mean, instead of doubling up on what's his name, on Neymar or Mbappe, they were doubling up on this guy here. This guy was all over the places.
I'm very, very, very content for them, and also credit to Fleek, the coach. He took over for Kovac in November. He was assistant coach, took over for Kovac, who was not playing Mueller, who was not doing these things. And he has led this team to play great football, machine that is professional in every sense of the word. So I'm very happy for Bayern Munich. And I could swallow the pill of Bayern Munich more than I could swallow the pill of PSG, just because PSG were 3 minutes away from being out against Atalanta. And I didn't think they had the quality that was that much better. So I was happy to see that. Sorry for PSG. Sorry for your fans. But also, Tuchel, the way that you leave Icardi on the bench for 90 minutes when you need a goal. Number one, I would never put him in over Choupo-Moting.
Yeah.
Never. Number two, you are down in a final 1-0. Put them both on. Put both of the strikers on. You have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. Why are you calculating? How are you going to... Icardi is deadly. How do you leave a guy like that on the bench is beyond me. And again, throw both strikers. You have nothing to lose.
For a defender, just knowing that Icardi is on the field is a lot of fear. I said, oh my God, this guy here, if he embarrasses me only one time out of 4 or 5 chances, it's gonna screw me. It's gonna make me look like garbage.
Mike's about to say something controversial. I could say he's licking his lips. He's like getting ready for this. I could see it. I could see it.
Icardi is one of my favorite players, my friend. I love Icardi.
I love Icardi too, but
Mike doesn't like Icardi.
No,
he doesn't.
I love Icardi.
No, you do not.
He was one of my favorite players.
You love Icardi. You don't like Icardi now.
It's not I don't like him now. It's what him and his agent have done and turned into Inter into a laughing stock when he was there.
They did not turn Inter into a laughing stock.
Well, they did a lot. We've had multiple podcasts. I don't want to open this can of worms right now, but I'm just saying, even if he's the third striker behind Choupo-Moting, there's some serious problems that's going on.
Can I tell you what the problem is? The problem is their coach. That's who the problem is. Okay, you don't agree. That's fine.
So.
That's fine. The coach thinks he's a genius. Everybody's regarding him as a genius for when he threw on Mbappe against Atalanta. The guy, he did not read the game properly.
Has nothing to do with Mauro Icardi's tantrums or anything.
Absolutely zero. I think that Icardi did not. Yeah, let me say, Icardi had a bad game against Atalanta, and I think that's why. And Choupo-Moting, he thinks he's a genius for throwing Choupo-Moting on where he scored the goal that was a deflection. No, it's exactly that. He thinks, oh my God, I'm a genius. I put the guy in, he got a little deflection. He must be better than Icardi.
You think that's 100%
and Icardi did not perform against Atalanta. I agree with that. Yes, absolutely. It's very adamant that's why. Very adamant, very clear. If anyone has an attitude problem on PSG, it's like 7 other players before it's Icardi.
No way.
I'm sure he's
First of all,
somehow.
I rarely agree with this punk over here, but I gotta agree with him this time.
Yeah, of course you
And I'm gonna just give him a taste of his own medicine. This guy here was saying, "Oh, we don't know what Pirlo is gonna do." The winner of the Champions League, the coach winning of the Champions League, it was the assistant of who?
This is a horrible argument.
Wait, what?
It is.
Pirlo's not even an assistant.
It doesn't matter.
I would have agreed with Pirlo as if he wasn't an
This
assistant.
guy here was not the coach of
He was an assistant
Bayern.
coach.
He
So
was
he had
an assistant
experience.
coach.
He had experience.
The guy
I
never
bet you the
played
guy-
soccer. The guy never
How do you
played
know
soccer.
this?
If he played, he played
I like
on
how
Bay
he's
8.
smart. I like
If
how
he
he's
played, he
smart.
played on Bay 8 with us.
That's
okay?
a local pub league,
So
guys. by
if
the
he
way,
played,
if
he
you
played
don't
on
know.
Bay 8.
He was
Pirlo.
okay. Can I just explain?
Pirlo.
From August 2006 to July 2014, he was the assistant coach to the German national team
So what?
under Joachim Löw.
said
So
so
that is
what?
12 years of experience,
That's a lot of experience.
8 years of experience, right? 2006. So he was in the final over there. The guy's got so much experience.
And he lost it.
You still
Okay,
get
stop.
experience.
Wait, but he
regardless.
won the 2014 World Cup
Listen.
as assistant coach.
Bottom line is Pirlo has been there. He's been there as a player. Okay, and he knows what coach
He played
did.
for Bayern Munich. He played
Okay.
104 games for Bayern Munich. He played 44 games for Cologne.
All right, but it's not. You wouldn't compare him with Pirlo.
He was a coach of Hoffenheim. He was the assistant coach to Salzburg. He was the assistant coach in Germany for 8 years. He was assistant at Bayern for only a couple months.
So this guy's like a waiter. He was a waiter, and then he managed to you know.
But
to-
Anto, your argument isn't valid till we see Pirlo
You're
start.
gonna see it.
when
You're gonna
this
see
game
it.
Fair
starts,
enough.
so
You're gonna
only-
see
only
it.
time
Anything
will
else
tell.
from this final that we take away?
What else? To take away, it's the fact that Perisic wound up winning with the Bayern shirt on.
This guy.
Banega wound up winning with the Sevilla shirt on. And what else do we have to mention here?
Coman.
Coman won next Juventus wound up winning with the Bayern shirt
Which doesn't
on.
say much.
And Suso wound up winning with Sevilla with an AC Milan shirt, on the hanging on the wall over there with
Marco, you
Yeah.
want to say the Capello quote that was going on with Coman?
Yeah.
You have
So Coman, Capello after the match said, Coman is considered good enough to start for a Champions League final for Bayern. Juventus keep making the same mistakes. Henry arrived at Juve so young and let him go, and he flourished at Arsenal. When you see quality, you need patience to wait. I think that this is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Bayern, if
I'm
you check the
surprised you
stats,
said that.
I saw the stats. Bayern, he started like half of Bayern's game. He always had injury problems. I remember Coman. He had an ankle problem where he said, if the doctor tells me I need a surgery, he said I'm retiring. It made so much sense. He's 24. He said, if I need one more surgery, I'm retiring from football. I'm not going to do it anymore. That was the player. He had serious injury problems. Juventus did great to sell him. And also, just because he started the Champions League final does not mean that he's the perfect. He scored a goal. Yes, he scored a header. But to me, yes, he's better than Bernardeschi, but he's still not this incredible player. And also, how many players did Juventus get rid of? Youth players that didn't turn out to be good. It's easy to point out the one that does
true.
well.
That's true. You're right.
I think that the argument, I don't think for me, Coman's not this special player. He's not. Personally.
Yeah, but he did.
He's a good
lot
bench
of
player.
damage.
He could be a good bench
Lot of
player.
Damage on the final, a lot of damage. Forget
Fair
about
enough.
the goal. I'm not talking about the goal.
Fair enough.
The guy was all over the place. He penetrated into the box maybe 7-8
But
times.
Mbappe did nothing.
Embarrassed us.
Mbappe did nothing in the final, so
Nothing.
you can't just compare a player on one game.
That's true.
Yeah, but that game is a game that counts. That's what I'm
100%.
paying you the money for.
I agree.
I'm paying you for
I
that
agree.
game.
I agree.
Not for the rest
But-
of
but
BS. I don't need you
there's
to.
a full
I don't
picture.
want you to score 7-0 when the game is 6-0.
Yeah.
It's out of reach again.
But Anto,
I want you
another
to
thing
be
is-
there for that one game.
He's not a starter at the end of the day, too. He's a bench player and he comes off as a substitute at best. So I get you. I don't know why Capello was saying that. I don't know if you wanted to say it to stay relevant or something.
Icardi, for me, he should have been given the benefits at least 15 minutes, last 15, 20 minutes to be placed on the field, and then
There's something we don't know.
Let's talk about, to finish off Champions League, the UEFA president said that they might do a final 8 in the future with one leg instead of two legs. Antonio, how do you feel about potentially doing one legs instead of two? Because we saw it did make a difference, and it definitely helps favor the smaller teams.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't agree with that. I
How
don't
come?
agree because two legs, you have a chance. You screwed up on the first one. You to some sort of redemption for the staff and the team. I think one leg is I don't know. No,
It doesn't make it more exciting, though, right? Because everyone gives it their all. But is it worth it?
Well, not really. No,
I agree with you.
no,
I think
no,
it's
no.
too much of a change.
Listen, in one leg where? I mean, first of all, you have to keep in account.
neutral.
You have to keep in account the fan stands. You know,
Yeah.
you pay that subscription for your team. You want to see your team on your own house home field and play it. And then if you're really that crazy, you want to go to follow your team abroad.
Can I make one argument?
You know, and then it's a killing. It will kill the competition.
Can I
that
make
way.
one thing that I
Yeah.
think that should be changed right away?
Right.
The away goal rule should be taken away. I think that the away goal rule is not a fair rule because it counts. It's a decider. The
so
thing is, an
It's
away
too
goal
powerful.
to be a decider to knock a team out.
I
For
can
me,
see a point.
for
I
me,
can
is
see a
scary.
point.
You know what? Also, like it just doesn't make sense. It's too much value on it. And I know people will say, "Oh, because Juventus went out on away goals." I've always thought that the away goal rule was weird. In my opinion. If they went through, either way, I still feel the same way. Also, Juventus, they went out on away goals. There was no fans at the stadium for that one.
it's not really
first
that
of all,
big.
Yeah, but you see, you got to amplify this year because there were no fans at the stadium.
fair enough.
Technically,
Either way, in my opinion, the away goal rule, it's crazy that it counts as double. It's a decider.
it's-
I would accept. I would swallow a pill. You know what? Yeah, no. You got to go to extra time. You got to go to extra time and continue playing.
Marco, I can agree with you on this because I do feel like it is extremely powerful to base it all off on scoring an extra goal on that way thing, and you're gonna base that whole tie off of that. I think it'd be much more fair for both sides if they do go to extra time and penalties like that. Anto, what
I
do you
agree.
think?
I
agree, guys.
I think they have to revise all of those penalties rules that I've been seeing lately. It's just
They
really
just change it
disgusting.
completely.
Let's
It's just listen. The away goal.
we.
If everybody agrees with it, why not? I mean,
Anto.
So you don't care if it goes or stays.
I have an idea. I have a future idea. We're getting ready to launch something, and I wanna create a content series, Antonio Rants, where we do a podcast once a week. I want to film twice a week, but this video is just dedicated to you, Antonio. You have very strong opinions, so week after week you could pick a topic and you talk about it for 10 minutes. Nobody's gonna interrupt you. I'll read questions from the
I
fans.
rant
and they
every
can
day. I put a microphone
Not
on
every
my
day.
car. I will rant it.
Not every day. Once a week.
Every day.
Once a week.
Once a week.
I want to
Okay.
know if the fans. First of all, I didn't even tell you about this. I want to know if you would be interested in this, and then if the people would want to watch an Antonio rants, where once a day he's at the table. Maybe one of us will toss you questions or toss you topics from the fans, and
And you
just
just
an
go on
Antonio
about
rant.
You mean you don't mean toss it? You're gonna instigate me. That's what it is.
100%.
I rant only when I get instigated.
Wow, so you already know this game.
So you're definitely down. He's definitely down for
They're
it.
setting me up, those two bastards over here.
So we'll let's start going to questions. I see Demi, and I think he's probably Greek. Petropoulos.
Yeah, the-
Petropoulos.
Petropoulos.
Okay. He said, with Suarez's termination from Barcelona, he's leaving Barcelona. Suarez on a free
Free
transfer.
transfer.
To go to where?
What-
To go where?
So this is
We'll
his
see.
question, Demi's question. He said, what Serie A team would fit into? Also, can Milan, with their transfer budget, be able to sign him in the season? I think that's what his question is. So what team could Suarez go to in the league? I'm going to look up what Suarez's salary is, just so you can take it into account, which there's probably only a few teams. But, guys, discuss.
I don't think he's gonna fit on AC Milan kind of a mentality. First of all, Ibrahimovic is right there.
He makes 17 million a year.
That's a lot of money. Number one.
Money?
Nobody signed it. Serie A, nobody
Nah.
signed it. 17 million a year.
Okay, say salary's out the window. What team would he perfectly fit on?
I would say maybe Joe Barone can think
Roma.
of somebody like that.
No, he's not going to
Fiorentina.
go fit. Yo, I was going
Hey,
to.
you
I
got
thought I was
Ribéry-
lowballing
you
with
got
Roma.
Ribéry over there, and if the money,
No,
if
no,
the
no.
guy's willing to cut his
Anto,
salary
that's a
down to
dream.
3-4 million, maybe Ribéry and Chiesa.
Juventus need a striker, but I don't want Suarez. I think Roma.
Roma.
If you're
For
making me
what?
play fantasy football, I throw Roma
For
in
what?
there. It would be fun.
How about Napoli? I think he'd fit at Napoli.
Oh,
over
actually,
there. I think
Napoli, yeah.
he'd fit
Napoli
They
more.
wouldn't need a striker.
Yeah, I would
I
think
take
so.
back.
Napoli.
I still would give it to Roma, but I like your Napoli choice makes a lot more
Yeah,
sense.
I think-
Napoli,
But I just
yeah.
stick with
It'll fit
Roma
better
just because
over
I
Not
said
AC
it.
Milan. Not AC Milan.
Not
We
AC
don't-
Milan?
no.
Zlatan's too good over there.
Okay, Bernard Muntel. He says, how long will it take for an Italian team to win Champions League again? Very disappointed in our teams. Atalanta went the furthest. I'm proud of them. Everyone else, I could say, in Europe was a disappointment, in my opinion. Every single other team doesn't have anything to be proud of. I think that we lack new ideas. I think that we lack courage. I think that we lack experience.
No,
in
but-
so many ways, we need to look at other leagues as the model
And
to
implement
follow
it.
and stop thinking that we have the best idea. Because Gasperini has a very different idea, and it worked.
It's working.
It worked in
It works
Europe.
so far
With
the
very
most.
little money, it worked. When do we think an Italian team is going to win the Champions League?
I would say we're not far. 2-3 years, 4 years.
I would
Couple
say
years.
within the next 5 years, not within.
Within-
over 4 years would be the base that I can really see.
I think that Champions League is a particular competition where really if you have a good run and things
That's
go right, you
true.
can
That's
win
true.
it.
That's true.
So honestly, yes, Juventus could
Yeah,
win
they
it
can win
next
it
year.
next year.
But I think within 5 years we'll see an Italian team, especially if Messi goes to Inter.
Nah, the Messi's not going to be the difference maker. Listen, the game
yeah,
has
Messi's
speed
never
up.
been a
The
difference
game
maker.
of soccer has
That's a
speed
joke.
up so much to the detriment of the quality and the technique. But the game has speed up.
That's
in
true,
term of-
especially in Europe. to the
Oh my
Champions
God!
League.
So Italians are trying to adapt a little
That's
by
a
little
very
to
good
this
point.
thing here.
You're right.
That's
So,
a very good point,
you know,
Antonio.
yeah, before you used to go and you used to just see the players like Mazzola, Rivera, Antonioni, Pirlo, Conte, or what's his name now? Conte.
Gattuso.
Del Piero, Totti, all technique and style. You enjoy watching those guys, the way they move on the field, how they pass the ball, how they vertically serve the striker. Nowadays, it's all fast, pace, and that goes to very much at the detriment of the quality of the game. So, that's what we did. This is like an hybrid between the English Premier League and the best Italian league that we had. So
you're saying
we are
they gotta
sacrificing a little bit more to quality for the speed on the game.
Okay.
I think that the game is getting more physical.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that we
More
lack.
fast.
I think that we
Definitely more
definitely lack in that. Let's go to the next question. It's from a Milan fan. He says, "How long do you think it will take Milan to reach an agreement with Zlatan Ibrahimovic? Right now, Zlatan and Milan they're not agreeing on the price. He wants $7.5 million. Milan's believed to be around $5 million. So they're taking a little bit longer. He didn't go to their first training session because the contract's still not signed. Antonio, as a Milan fan, and obviously you want Zlatan to be there.
Yeah,
Who do you think is right on this argument? Do you think Milan need to pay up the money, or do you think Zlatan needs to be like, hey,
Well, Zlatan is basically telling them, "Hey, listen, psychologically, he's putting them on the tough, on the hot spot." I said, "Listen, wasn't for you, wasn't for me when as soon as I came over,
We've
you
been
started
Serie
to-
B, right?
Now you're starting to see something moving over here because you have nothing but a bunch of slackers over here.
Yeah.
So I came over here. I changed the mentality. That I think purely had nothing, very little to do with that.
Yeah, part of
Something,
it.
but
Zlatan definitely
it was
helped
Ibrahimovic
a lot.
demanding for everybody. I said, "Hey, listen, if I'm 38 years old, I'm gonna bust my ass. I want you to bust it 10 times as much your ass."
That's
And
true.
you're much younger than me. So if I don't see it, that you're living on the field, you're gonna hear from me.
And he deserves the money too.
So
I mean, he was one of the
for me, the
revelations.
half a million up and half a million up, I think they're gonna be right there on the middle, 6 million,
Yeah, I'm sure
six and
they'll
a half
figure it
million
out.
with a bonus of $7 million. €7 million. They're gonna sign
No, yeah, I agree. I think
6.5 to 7
I
million.
think people are overreacting. I think it's just a matter of time till they agree a deal. I'm sure Zlatan wants to stay, and I can't see him going to any other
Yeah, plus
club
he's a
for
little
sure.
busy with the letter right now, right?
why easy?
He's doing the dance. I watched the dance on the Corriere dello Sport.
Oh, that's what you're talking
yeah,
about.
the-
you're talking about because they're
The
filming. They're
sponsorships
building
or whatever.
sponsorships. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you're
Oh,
talking
the sponsorship?
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
they were doing together.
Alright.
All right, we're just making that very clear. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I think that Zlatan deserves the money. If there's anybody in this team that
Absolutely.
deserves the money,
For sure.
it's Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
100%.
He's gonna be there for one more year. You're $2 million away. Listen, come on. Milan have wasted so much money over the years. You finally got a guy that's improved your mentality, improved the team.
What if
Pay up.
Calabria wants a raise? What do you tell him?
Come to Puglia.
I'm reading.
Next question.
Let's see the next question. Which from Misal, he's a Lazio fan. He said, "Which attacking player from the promoted sides will have the best impact in Serie A?" And he said, "Do you have the right wingers, but in the Euros?" Let's just take it as which team from Serie B. Michael's followed the Serie B a lot. Is there any team or any player in specific that you're excited that you could tell us about? Because I know you were very adamant on your Serie B team.
Now I'm trying to handle this remote back and forth while I'm trying to think about a team.
Regina is got a good striker.
Oh, you're saying Serie? You're
The
saying
teams that were promoted to Serie A.
Okay, so we got Benevento, we got Crotone,
And Spezia.
and we got Spezia.
You don't seem too
I'm
enthusiastic.
trying to think right
Give us
now.
your honest and real thoughts.
I'm getting stuck right now. I can tell you
Benevento came in with flying colors.
Benevento killed it.
That was Inzaghi's team, right?
Yeah, that was Inzaghi's
sir.
team. I'm trying to think who Benevento's strikers are.
I wasn't that excited by the Serie A promotions.
I
I was
expected
rooting for other teams.
Yeah, I was rooting for. I wanted Chievo Verona to go up just because I wanted the Verona derby. But Benevento, you can't take that away from them. They won it by like 20 points, so they're definitely going to be up there. And Benevento already got Gleek, and they're definitely looking for other transfers. They're going to spend heavy on the market. The other two teams, Spezia, the first time ever they got promoted to Serie A in their history, so that's huge news for them. And Crotone, we've seen them in Serie A multiple times. They
I was
usually
only a
go
fan
back
of them
and
when
forth.
Davide Nicola was there.
because he had that story of him.
We'll go to the next question.
Wait, I just want to say, actually, who do you think has the most quality to stay up next season? If we had to give early
I
guesses,
would say Benevento, definitely.
You think Benevento?
Oh, yeah.
I did not watch a single game.
The way they won the league and the way Inzaghi put the team on the field, it's, if they make if they buy the right players, they might have a better chance.
Remember Glick from Torino?
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
at Monaco. They
Yeah.
got him, so which is a pretty good signing so far.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be exciting to see who goes
Plus,
up.
they'll be happy. Inzaghi's going to still be the coach, I hope, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So Antonio, I got a question over here, and I'll take it because I really don't care. It's fine by me.
Go ahead.
I got criticized big time this weekend.
For what?
Everybody was hating on me on Twitter. It was a fun time because I wanted Inter to win.
Oh.
And they said a real Juventus
You
fan.
deserve it.
You were probably the guys that were chirping me over there, that were getting mad at me. They said a real Juventus fan should not support Inter.
Absolutely not.
That's fine, but I have a problem. You know what I have a problem with? I have a problem with number one. I don't know why people care so much about what I do. That's number one. I never thought that it would be a thing. The amount of tweets that I saw, even Michael afterwards texted me like, yo, that's ridiculous. Number two, when did I ever claim to be a real Juventus fan? Whatever real Juventus fan means.
Yeah, what does that even
Number
mean?
three, I run a company that's reliant on Serie A teams doing well in Europe.
What is it called?
That's a bunch of BS.
How is that BS?
I'll tell you right
Why
now.
wouldn't I support the Italian team?
A real tifoso in Serie A.
When did I say I was a
Who?
when
When
did I say I was a real
You
tifoso?
said
Tifoso.
I see you watching the game, and when you went to score, yeah. That's what a real tifoso
So
is.
thank you. So you said
So,
it. So I can do whatever the fuck I want.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I can. I can do whatever the fuck I
A real
want.
tifoso sticks all the time with his team, and
That's
if
fine.
you have a rivalry, the major rivalry with the Juventus, the major rival are AC Milan, Inter Milan.
You guys are not our
Roma.
major. AC Milan's not our major rival.
All right, take it easy. Slow down. How many Champions League you have so far?
All right.
Not that many.
Let me go on a time machine real quick and find out.
I think the guy that asked the question has got a very good
He's a
point.
Juventus fan.
Okay. He should never.
He said, "Are you a closet Inter fan?"
Probably. That's
Yeah.
to put it mildly, I think he
So Anto, so when Atalanta's playing PSG, Marco should be rooting for PSG.
I rooted for Atalanta
Wait,
because
why?
I
So you're
like.
not a real tifoso then?
No, hold
Wow,
on,
so
hold
now I
on.
Atalanta is more your competition
Hold
than
on.
Milan is Juventus' competition.
Hold on.
Just saying.
Hold on.
said
Just
hold on so we
saying.
can think of
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Atalanta
What?
has got one of the best coaches.
Okay,
And
forget
it's
it. No,
not-
no. We're not.
No,
We have
and
nothing
it's
to
not
do
a
with that.
rival. It's not a rival of AC Milan.
You're right, because
AC
Atalanta's in
Milan-
Champions League and you're not.
AC
So they're not
Milan rival,
rivals.
it's
So they're not
Juventus
rivals.
and Inter Milan.
You're right, they're not rivals.
Okay, so I'd rather to Inter to lose any competition because I don't want to hear from those losers.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But
Atalanta actually would be
Anto,
happy if they
that's
win.
fine. That's fine. That's your reasoning for supporting a team. Who are you to tell me how
I am telling you.
Who are you to tell me that I have
am telling
to?
you.
No, you're not.
The right thing to do.
That's
First
fine.
of all,
There's no right or
First of
wrong.
all-
It's only how you act.
This is your definition.
There's
first
no
of
right or
all,
wrong.
you support your Italian national team. This is not a national team. This
Neither's
is
Atalanta though.
doesn't matter.
See,
Atalanta
why
like
does he say
Gasperini.
that?
There are
What does that have to do
there are
with
few
it?
exceptions.
Now there's exceptions.
Listen, you don't understand the rivalry. Rivalry are rivalries. Juventus has got a problem with Inter, with AC Milan, and with 3 or 4 teams only.
Nobody's arguing that.
Okay,
I'm not arguing
so
against
that's what I'm
that.
saying. You should not be supporting them.
But
Okay, that's fine.
But in
But
Europe,
listen,
it's different,
listen.
Anto.
Do you know that we spend money to have stuff created for when the Italian teams win? When Inter loses in that final,
It hurts
it does
us.
worse for me. It makes IFTV go down
That's
more.
not true. No,
Yes, it
people,
does.
they
You don't even
understand.
run the business.
How do you
You know that this is not. It's 100% true. We spend money to have stuff ready. We have graphics that went in the garbage because Inter did not win.
Oh, really?
That hurts
So
me.
sorry to hear
That
that.
hurts me. And the fourth point that I wanted to say about this is I can do whatever I want because it's all relative. The environment that you grow in. If I grew up in Italy, I would be around an Inter fan, a Milan fan, and all these fans all day, and I would not be supporting Inter. For sure, I would not be
I grew
supporting.
up in Italy.
Exactly. This is exactly my point.
And
For
I don't
you,
flip.
this is exactly my point. For you, it understands. For me, I grew up in New York. The people around me, Ryan, Manchester United, Matthew, Barcelona, everyone was a fan of a different team. So for me, they used to always shit on Serie A. The Italian team's losing, this team. So it put me in a corner where I said, I have to support Inter because I don't want them to say something. It's the exact same thing, just in different terms. I was doing this rivalry and supporting the Italian teams so that my inner circle, none of my inner circle supported a Serie A team. The only thing they supported were other teams. So
point.
I chose the Italian teams so that I could say to them, ha ha, you lost. So that's why it's relative. There's no right or wrong. It's just different
It's
circumstances.
true. And Marco, great point. And I just want to add, it helps the well-being of the league itself. If Inter win, Juve win.
But that's not the argument. I'm not sticking by that argument. But it's fine. But not everybody cares about the Serie A.
I get that. But it does
fine.
It does elevate the image of the Serie A that these
But
teams
again,
do
but
win.
Mike, but we can't,
Sevilla
Mike.
winning the Europa League.
But
But Mike,
I wanted to prove
one
it
second.
helps
We can't use that as our argument because we have a vested interest in the Serie A doing well. That's why it's not a good argument, and we shouldn't stick by that argument because people are not in our circumstance
it,
where they
but
want
that's how
Serie
I
A
see
to
it.
do.
Is that how I'm
That's how you
saying?
see it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we
that's
can't
how
put
I
that
see
standard
it.
on anyone else because it's a poor argument that can be
I'm
picked
definitely
apart
not
very
brainwashing
easily.
someone else, but I'm saying that's how I see it, and I feel like it'll elevate the Serie A.
Me,
as well.
I just wanted to prove the point that Conte is not the type of person.
Where does
that
Conte come from?
He has to do
He-
with that.
he brings Conte
I
back
wanted
for
more
everything.
Conte to lose than Inter to lose because I wanted to prove the point that Conte is getting overpaid and it's not this
We
great
have-
coach that you guys are talking about it all the time. Conte is not a coach.
We have a question
And
from
Sarri is not a coach.
We have a question from Rocco, your friend Rocco.
Okay.
Remember Rocco?
Go
Rocco
ahead.
the comic?
Yep.
He said, do you see potential increase in injuries due to such a short break with the Serie A returning obviously in September 19th?
By far, big time. You're going to see it.
Yeah, probably. They're not
You're
gonna
going to see it because the break is too very small, and regardless, injuries when you're starting to retrain after a very disgraced season, because you stop in March and then you
Restart
restart it
3
and
months later.
then you cram up like 20 games in a 2-3 weeks. I mean, this you're gonna see it, a lot of injuries, not a lot
a
of
lot more than
injuries.
usual. A lot more
So
than
for
usual.
the team that I think they have a deep bench, this is gonna be a big plus. But teams that like AC Milan, they don't have a deep bench. You're gonna see problems.
Plus the 5 sub rule is carrying over to this season, so it's gonna help the bigger teams in that sense also.
Yeah. It's
carrying
carrying over.
It's carrying over.
Well, that's a good. That's a plus then
you
for
like
the rest
that?
of the team.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Just
Let's-
because of the injury part.
Because of that.
We have a very good question from Maria. I really like this question. She said, since Bayern won the Champions League, which Bayern Munich player would you choose to put into your team? And I want to say also, by the way, I completely forgot about this. Her saying this made me think about the game. Neuer was absolutely incredible and crucial. He was the MVP for Bayern Munich. I know people like to talk about Lewandowski. They like to talk about these beautiful players up top. Müller, Neuer kept Bayern Munich in this match.
He made some key stops.
Incredible.
He did.
And Neuer was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was good.
If you made me choose a player from Bayern Munich, I think the obvious choice is obviously Lewandowski. I won't go with the obvious choice. For me, Juventus' midfield is so poor. I love Thiago. Thiago Alcantara, what a beautiful player that played a fantastic match. I've always been a fan of him. He's got his Italian citizenship too. His origins are from Italy. And I love him. I think Liverpool made a steal that they're getting him for 25 million. I would love to plop him.
It's already on the transfer.
Actually, sorry, I changed my mind.
Whoa.
I changed my
You gave a
mind.
whole essay
Yeah,
of
I like
what you wanted.
Thiago's my second. Alphonso Davies, left back. Juventus need a
hell,
left
you
back.
stole my shit,
Juventus need a left back.
bro.
Alphonso
You
Davies,
stole my shit.
Canada. Shout out from North America. You're coming. Sorry.
I will take
Oh my
Kimmich.
God.
I will take Kimmich.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I will take Kimmich.
Shit, that's a good one too.
Oh, let me tell you something. This guy
Can you
is
choose more than one player?
One of the best midfielder. I will take Kimmich and I will take Lewandowski still.
Wait, pick one.
But Kimmich number one.
Okay,
Mike?
I was gonna say Davies. Not.
Wait, to what team?
Change it. Davies. I'll put him on. I'll put him on. If Gosens. No. I'm not gonna put him on Atalanta. I'll put him on.
I'm not gonna go to Aldo.
I'll put him on Roma.
Jeez.
Take over for Kolarov.
So that's your team because she said to put him on your team. So Mike, the Roma fan.
Maybe.
Mike, what happened? You
Maybe.
switched
So
from
what's your
Inter to
player?
Roma?
Sorry, what's your player they chose?
I was gonna say Davies, but I'm gonna have to. I'll put Müller actually. Oh, I'll put Müller to Lazio because the German connection with Klose left over there. He's been a legend. I think Müller can replicate that. and he
Müller.
can
There's
become
a lot of
legend.
great
Müller's
players
very
to choose.
good. I like him a
But
lot.
also shout out Alphonso Davies, I think he's the first Canadian to ever win the
He is,
Champions League.
he is.
What a story that
Probably
guy's
North
got.
American too.
Yeah, probably North American.
I'm
I'm
thinking
sure
American
North
one.
American. What a player, man. 19 years old. The guy's fast. 19. He came from MLS. Bayern Munich again, another one. Bayern Munich took the chance on this
You see?
kid.
He
They
was the
play
most
him
expensive MLS
signing ever. I think 18 million,
Oh, okay.
and they got another 2 million because they won the Champions League too. I think Montreal Impact.
2 million.
But what a
player- 2
player.
million- for each player. They got 2 million.
No,
No.
2 million just for
2
him
million.
because he
Oh,
won the
as a
Champions
bonus.
League.
Yeah.
But what a player! I love him. I love his attitude. I
doesn't
love
look
everything he
scared on the
stands
ball
for.
at all
He's not
for 19
scared.
years
He's got
old.
quality.
It's
He's got
incredible.
skill. 19. You don't peak until you're 27. The guy's got so many years until he even gets to this top
He
place.
looks so comfortable.
Very
on the
good player,
ball. It's
and I just
insane.
like him. Like I genuinely, I think he's a good he looks like a good guy.
Yeah.
He looks like he plays for the team. So happy for him, and also from North America, it's pretty crazy that
It
he's
is.
won
It's nice
to
to
get
see
to that level.
for sure.
That's also again Bayern Munich. Constantly looking at new markets, new opportunities. I feel like in Italy we would never give somebody a chance like Alphonso Davies the
MLS.
time.
I can see that.
You know,
We say MLS.
yeah,
MLS.
a little disappointed to see Verratti, one of our best players, coming in on the second half, and just a little.
He was
bit,
injured. He was injured.
He was coming back from injury. What do you think? What do you think about that? You think his future should
Verratti-
stay
listen,
in France, or you think
I've
he
been
should go
watching
back to Italy?
Kimmich playing lately. I've been watching Barella. I think those are players that they're challenging Verratti. I mean, not that Kimmich is going to come and play on the national team, but
Well, he's a right back.
Barella, I'm telling you, it's impressive.
Barella's
the way he
very
plays.
Barella has low-key
Barella, I
been
think
incredible.
he might steal the
His
position.
starting spot. I can see. What do you think? Verratti should continue at PSG though, or do you think he should come back to Italy?
Well, listen, Verratti is not going to have a big differential for any big team, even in Juventus. Juventus
Absolutely not.
may not use, may not really
Are you
benefit.
crazy?
Maybe.
Are you
Listen,
crazy?
Listen, Napoli might
Do you
use
see
Verratti.
Juve's midfield?
Anto.
Listen,
Is he better than
Maybe
Rabiot?
not at Inter.
Is he better than
Inter-
Matuidi?
by far,
Is he
by
better than
far,
Khedira?
but you don't want to, for the money that you're going to be spending to get Verratti, to transfer Verratti.
I would take Verratti in a heartbeat.
in Napoli,
He'd be one of my
in Napoli, Verratti will do very well.
Verratti would be one of my first choices at Juventus. I think you get Verratti. He's 30 years old. He will bring the experience.
30 already?
He's 30. That's not bad at all. 30's
Him and
fine.
Insigne.
30's
He's
perfectly
younger.
I
fine.
will put him in Napoli because
Put
him
him-
and Insigne, they played in Pescara,
I
so
want-
they're best friends. So they will do excellent.
Verratti also with Pirlo there, I think he will just thrive. You put him with Artur, who's a very young midfielder, quality midfielder. You get a nice young Italian player, another one. You will have a nice mix of experience, technical skill, and ability all in this midfield. Juventus. If I was Juventus, I would push hard for
How much
Marco
would you spend
Verratti.
for him though? Realistically, what's the most?
I don't
what's the
know.
top?
I mean, am I crazy to
get
say
a 40, 50 million dollars?
I was going to say 50 to 60 million.
Yeah.
Isn't he going to be around that range? We got to try to throw some counterparts in there. Throw some players.
Yeah,
in
throw
there.
them.
They're kinda stupid team.
Alexandro, throw them. What's his name?
Ronaldo.
Alexandro.
No.
They might actually be interested in Alexandro.
You know, throw them. Alexandro, throw them.
Who's their left back?
Yeah,
Marquinhos?
De Sciglio, Alexandro.
watch
throw
They,
them.
they love De
I don't watch
Sciglio.
anything
They
else
love De
except for
Sciglio.
Yeah, take
So
him,
funny that they love
take
De Sciglio.
him. That's it. Get Verratti back in Italy.
Any other topics that you have on your mind? We basically got through everything.
Everything went so fast. I mean, the finals, they were so fast. I mean, we
Well,
go
everything was cut in half
every
too.
day. You got something going on. Semi-final, quarterfinal, final of the Champions League, final of the UEFA League. So, but it was, we made up all the boredom that we had during this goddamn coronavirus. But it was too much to process too fast. So now the dust is going to settle little by little. We're going to see the big teams, what kind of move they're going to make. And, we'll see.
Soon.
We'll see. I think AC Milan is looking very promising in terms of they're starting to get a little bit more smarter on the market. They're not signing big names. they're
Grande
just,
Maldini.
yeah, well,
We'll wait next season.
Mike, as I said,
We'll wait next season.
What do you?
as I said, we're never gonna die. So we just you're gonna keep stabbing us as much as you want. But
I'm
AC
not
Milan,
stopping.
I'm allowed to
AC
stab you?
Milan is gonna be the one of this year is
Should've
gonna
told
be
me
the big
earlier.
surprise. One of this year is gonna be. Listen, what I've been worrying, I would be worried if I were you because Ronaldo is not gonna be at that level for forever.
Yeah, for sure.
So at some point, he's gonna have a
You know, you could say that
big
about
drop.
any player in the world. Name me who's a great. Donnarumma is not going to be at that level forever.
Oh, Donnarumma is
got a
going to be up
couple
there
decades,
for
right?
long time.
You're crazy.
You wish you had Donnarumma.
I do
No,
wish. You
no.
want to give him to me? Anyway, Dzeko is being linked as a striker for Juventus, by the way. I just thought about it. They say Pirlo wants him over Milik, over anyone else, Dzeko. Personally, I don't even
He's
understand
too
how
old
this is
now,
a
Jake.
thing.
What was that, 33?
33, 34.
I can't even see him.
He wants like 7 to 10 million in wages.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah, shoot your shot. Shoot your shot at Roma. I don't want you to shoot your shots at Juve. I don't want Dzeko. I don't want Dzeko at all.
Why not?
Because Juventus have the oldest team. Now you're buying another older striker. To me,
Give me a
Dybala is the
striker
number
then.
10.
Give me a striker.
Dybala.
Dybala?
We have it in the team. Buy the
We're
midfield.
playing
Buy Verratti. Buy Zaniolo. See if, buy Dest. Buy
said
Dest.
Zaniolo's probably
Get
not
another
gonna
left
go
back.
now.
And then if you have extra
You're playing
funds,
fantasy
then if you have
football.
an extra funds, then you leave it.
Tonali's not gonna go. Zaniolo's
I didn't say
probably not
Tonali's
gonna
gonna
go.
go.
Okay.
Zaniolo,
Who?
Castrovilli.
But the Friedkin already said it, off limits.
Okay,
So what do you
they
think
say that
can
all
get
the time.
him? Okay, what
Berlusconi
do you
used to
think
say.
can get him?
Berlusconi used to say 99.7%, but 99.9%.
What happens if
Ibrahimovic
he
is not
actually is
leaving.
off limits?
Boom. Boom.
what do you do
Sold.
if he actually is off limits?
Zaniolo,
If he actually is off limits.
Milinkovic-Savic, Castrovilli. I'm
And
giving you the
that's how you win.
options. I'm giving you the options.
Can't see
Okay,
Savic.
that's fine by me.
Stop.
Give me Verratti and Castrovilli. That's fine.
If Verratti stays,
So I know
No,
you're telling
you-
me.
I already
you're telling me
explained
that
to me.
Serie A starts everybody. They start from the same line. You started from here, and everybody else starts from here. Come
That
on,
makes
man.
absolutely no sense.
It makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
You spending the money because you got money to spend.
We don't even have a coach.
all of those players that you named it. I want them on AC Milan. I want them on AC Milan, but we cannot afford it.
Let me tell you
when
something.
I go to the fruit market, I buy just a bunch of rotten things because the stuff is too expensive.
Marco buys a nice
Yeah.
Look, you're
I
like
want
you're
them
over.
over.
He buys a seedless
don't-
grapes. You buy the seeded grapes.
Yeah, the worms are still coming out of the apples. I buy those apples over here. And you, what would you buy? You just go to the top,
Yes,
you know,
sir.
Macintosh, and you got all of that big good stuff.
Yes, sir.
That's not a competition. You have to just spread the wealth all over.
Okay, yeah, we'll
Spread
give you
the
some
wealth.
money.
Yeah.
We'll give you some money. Anyway, guys, that was a fun episode. Guys, I think we got to start doing more episodes without them. They slow us down. They don't have the same energy as us.
I was laughing definitely more.
Yeah, I think the people enjoyed it a lot more. Anyway, guys, just kidding. Let us know about the Antonio rants. Text us 917-905-2169. I really hope that's a number. I'm going off my memory for like 2
It's
weeks
gonna be on
ago.
the screen, but regardless, guys, let us know about the setup too, because I didn't get up once, and I've been switching
Great
them
job,
from my
Mike.
computer.
Michael,
Well,
the
we'll
M.
see. Don't
Guys,
say great
drop
job now.
a comment
If
for
this
Mike.
doesn't look good, Mike. You're not going to see Mike on the next podcast. He'll be dead.
You'll see me with a black eye next podcast.
Oh yeah.
Give Mike some love in the comments. He's been handling all this, so everything's been going really good. As always, guys, you didn't switch it for this one, but it's good. Right as we're giving it the
Mike,
comments, he's like, "All right, I'm done. I'm done."
I put you at the switch just to press one button.
Guys, as always, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon.
Ciao, guys.
Ciao, ragazzi.
Forza Benevento.